And here we are back again for another episode of Off the Edge with Cam Jordan. With me, your host, Cam Jordan. I've got my dog, a guy who I played with, a man who I've seen not only the passion, the inspiration, the integrity of holding the game down, and so many different facets. A Pro Bowler, two-time Super Bowl champion with two different teams, his hometown Eagles, my New Orleans Saints. 2 years before I got there, it's fine. It is what it is. Played 13 years in NFL, founder of the Malcolm Jenkins Foundation, as well as the Broad Street Ventures VC Fund. The man just accomplished his side quest. I just saw him 2 weeks ago, just taking pictures of the live game in New Orleans. I was like, yo, oh, you came here to work. He's got a little photographer vest on. And I'm like, okay, he's just accomplishing side quests. So this is a game to him. Okay, life is a game, and he's balling out of control. On and off the field, the man knows how to be relentless. But that being said, you've also got, beyond being an activist, and I see you on like the Wall Street Journal page pop-ups every now and again, you've got what we call a Substack.
Substack, yeah.
Yeah. What exactly is a Substack? Because I know a lot of words. I'm not going to say like, hey, I pride myself on being knowledgeable across a board of different items, but I feel like I am. And a Substack meant absolutely nothing to me.
So Substack is just another social platform. It's essentially a newsletter, right? So instead of it being small captions and photos and things like that, like Instagram, it really started with a bunch of writers who do long form essays, thought pieces, poetry, all kind of stuff like that, which is right up my alley. Once I wrote my memoir, What Winners Won't Tell You, writing really became one of my favorite mediums to communicate. And so I really gravitated to that platform. After the Super Bowl in New Orleans this past year, I got really inspired to just put my thoughts out there on how I see the game, this new phase of life, and how I'm taking all of the experiences I had in football and applying it to this new wide open frontier that is, retirement from sports.
So it's like Pinterest meets Facebook for
it's a little more elevated than that, but yeah, however you want to see it.
Hey, I'm like, okay, okay, writers in there, but okay, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just beyond that, bro. I love what you're able to do. I talked about it. Just that few minutes we had before the game, I was like, bro, you're just accomplishing side missions. What next is on this mission list? Because there's got to be a operative stack. Like you take over the world. How? Slowly, at one paragraph at a time.
For real, one paragraph at a time. But no, I think, when I retired, I really looked at the landscape and, what are the avenues for me post football? And the ones I saw most common was going into coaching, going into commentating, or guys just disappearing. You're not really knowing what they're doing, and guys are isolating and struggling. And I just wasn't ready to go back into coaching or to go into commentating. I knew I had the skills to do both, but really that's not what my passion was. I've sacrificed so much time from family, from community. And something in my spirit is telling me there's other ways to approach this. And so really what you see me doing now is trying to model for guys who don't necessarily want to go in those or can't go into those traditional pathways of coaching and commentating, to figure out like, what does life look like after this? How do you approach the game upon your own terms? And so, that's what you see when you see me with a credential on and a photographer's vest, is because I'm choosing to show up how I want to, right? And this newfound passion of mine, I'm out here doing side quests, discovering passions and trying them out. The same way, when you wanted to be really, really good at football, you researched, you practiced, you did everything you could to get exposed to it, to see if it was what you really, really wanted to do. And that's what I'm really doing. And I understand that right now for the community of retired guys that struggle after this game, it's important to showcase that there are other opportunities, other avenues, other interests to be involved in if you can't get into coaching or commentating.
You mentioned in struggle after retirement. Is there any one piece of memorabilia that you wish you would have kept and didn't once you were like, going through that stuff? Because as I'm talking to guys that have retired, they're like, man, I had these cleats from Super Bowl, or man, I had, this first interception ball that I gave away. I wish I would have kept that because it meant X. I just need to know, as I'm like accruing my list, because I'm done in the next 3 years for sure. Like,
bro, here's some game. So one of the things that I got into as I retired seriously was collecting art. So yeah, when you collect a bunch of art, all of a sudden you got to get that stuff insured, and then through that I learned that my memorabilia collection also had value. Actually, had more value than my art. So all of those cleats, gloves, footballs, helmets, game balls, all of those awards have value. So definitely, one, take inventory of it, keep it organized, understand what you have. Some of it has more value than others. Get it insured. Some of those things I use now is like fundraising opportunities. But a lot of those important moments, those interceptions, the helmets from key games, I have all of that.
you have the helmets, man.
Need that.
I'm not. I think I try to send a jersey or something to the parents, and they're like, I got no more space to put it. I was like, dang, I bet.
And
Like,
I'm sure you have. I'm sure you got a ton of stuff.
a ton of
You
stuff.
didn't give it all away.
No, but that's just it.
Yeah.
I just want to know, like, I'm just sort of like gathering a list of like, oh, like, man, I got like some special cleats, like the foundation cleats. I've got, a special pair of Jordan cleats that, I just wore, some all gold factory joints. Ain't no customs no more, factory. I got a couple game balls. I was stacking game balls for a long time. And I was like, what do I do with these? I've like deflated them, and now I'm going to make like a little mural in the weight room. I don't know. Like, I'm figuring out places to put them. I don't know how to put numbers on it.
Yeah, but the biggest thing is, to your point, is one, just take inventory. Like this off season, you get a chance, literally pull it all out and see what you have. I think you'll be surprised, especially how many years you are right now.
It's 15. It's
15.
I told you I was going to play 15, and then now I'm here. I'm like next year sounds good. Maybe it doesn't.
But yeah, man, that's it. That's one of those things that guys don't talk about enough is the value of the memorabilia collections, especially as we're swapping jerseys and all those things.
Yeah,
stuff has value.
The jersey swaps. When did that start? Has that always been around?
No.
Like,
when I came into the league, absolutely not. It would have been so frowned upon.
Right. Vlogs were frowned upon. Swapping jerseys, you'd be like, you lame, man.
It's a new time.
Unless you was like, you guys were best friends, boys.
Right.
Like actual like amigos.
You had to be like former teammates. And even then, you might have swapped like behind the scenes, not
correct.
On the field.
Not like, hey, in the middle of the field, hold that joint up.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy. In the locker room, for sure. You go to a Pro Bowl, absolutely. Hey, bro, but after a game, I couldn't imagine 2011. Like, hey, bro, like, remember, let's switch jerseys. No, right here. Let's take a picture of it. Let's document this. Coaches and players.
Cam Newton, can we trade jerseys? Like, absolutely not.
Bro, what? They would have posted us up during the team meeting the very next day. Look at these guys. They're more worried about themselves than they are the team. They would have been like, "Oh, coach, the game is over." Like, ain't none of that individuality. 2011, like, ain't no way. It would have been you. Look.
But do you like that growth though? Like the evolution of the game and just even like I hear so many players now talk about like them watching TikTok and all of those things. It's like we would never say those things in an interview, but it is what is growing the game at this point.
I mean, I look at it like, guys used to rehearse their celebration dances. Lance Moore back in the day just didn't go dance around. No, you had to be in the mirror.
He was the king. He was the king.
I say TikTok is a new mirror. Like you're catching moves and you're making sure you got them. So I understand the aspect. Like I may not ever get behind it, but I got kids, and now the kids are older. We 6, 7. We do all that, so I can see where it goes. As a retired player, do you ever think about coming out of retirement as a side mission?
No, not at all. No, that mission is complete. It's buried. I'm good.
All right. What about this week?
I needed out the game.
What about this week? Your former teammate, OG of mine, Brandon Graham, talking about BG, talking about rejoining the Eagles.
He got that knock. He got that call. Got that itch. Man. I mean, listen, it's very tempting when especially when you fresh out, when you still have some snaps in you. The team is good. It's not all like hanging on you. It does make it, I think, more appetizing. But for me, when I was done, I was sure. I'm like, this is actually no. Let me take that back. I'm lying. to
I'll say,
myself.
I'll say, yeah, you are, because we talked about it at the end of your 13th year.
That next year, actually, the Eagles gave me a call and were like, hey, we struggling at safety. They had a bunch of injuries. I think Ducey got hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And, I would have taken that call if I was allowed to. I couldn't just come out of retirement from the Saints and join the Eagles, though. But so I understand the itch, especially that first year out, before you've really like detached yourself from the game. So it's not surprising. They had a guy retire middle of the season. So team needs some help. He's in the city. More power to you.
Right. I'll say, it was Zedarius retired just up in. I seen the Instagram post and said, oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden, BG talking about, hey, baby, I'm back.
I'm back.
Hey, I mean, he joins a team that's 5-2. I mean, there were some questions when they were sitting at, they lost 2 games in a row, and they were like, have they figured it out? I mean, 5-2 is a solid.
It's not, yeah. I mean,
they
have
just won a Super Bowl.
That team, yeah, is just, they have so much talent. They have such a good, they have a complimentary team that they just need to manage all of the personalities and egos,
AJ Brown
in that media, arena of Philadelphia. They just need to manage the locker room. And that was the case last year. That's going to be the case this year. They've got talent. They've got coaches. That's not the issue at all. They've got to stay healthy and kind of keep those blinders on.
Absolutely. I mean, we saw the Tush push again. How do we feel about the Tush push? It seems like it's a very just a Jalen Hurts thing. You saw the Minnesota Vikings have like the guy.
Everybody's trying and can't do it. Yeah.
Can't do it.
That's the funny thing is like, well, everybody's like, oh, it's so, criticized it. And then everybody tried it and realized like, oh, your quarterback actually has to be able to squat some weight for it to work. And, the fact that nobody's been able to really stop it. And the fact that they have variety off of it. They got the jet sweep off of it. They got the hard counts. It's like they really take it to another level. And I personally love it because I feel like it's the most old school play that we actually have. And the fact that it's still so, as somebody who likes history, like the fact that it's so effective, like the oldest 3 yards in a cloud of dust philosophy still works is beautiful.
No doubt. I'll say all the old folks that were tuning into the game should absolutely love it. Like, hey, this is 1960 football right here.
The original. Yeah.
We're coming down here. You can't stop us. Okay, buddy, we get it. I mean, it led to a Super Bowl. Tell me what that's like. Do you have a favorite Super Bowl win?
I think the Eagles Super Bowl, just because I played more. I played the entire game. I played like maybe like a half and a little bit more in my rookie year. And so in being the captain of the team, it was just, I had so much more invested in that second Super Bowl than my rookie year when I was like along for the ride and got thrown into the fire kind of thing. But both, being able to bring the first Super Bowl to both cities, is one of those things that I really can't choose. It's so significant, not only to myself, but to the city, to the fan base, that it really keeps me attached to both places, and both places are home to me.
Right, and now you're part of history in 2 different franchises. Saints, of course, with Drew Brees. That's got to be awesome coming as a rookie and just have one in the bag. Like,
thought I was gonna get him every couple of years. In 2011, when we were close.
Man, 2011, my rookie year.
Yeah.
2011, my rookie year? I was like, this winning thing is just natural. Like,
that was the best team I've ever been on.
We were 13-3, something like that. It was like whatever, 11-5, 13-3, something like it just felt too easy to win. Didn't lose a home game for like 2 years running. Like, hey, you come in here, we lock these doors behind you. Now you know your ass is cooked.
Yeah, now you can't leave.
Now you can't leave. In fact, thanks for the dub. We'll let you out now. That's what it felt like. And now I'm on the other side of things when you go from being constant, having one of the best to ever do it. Now you're like, all right, we're figuring out the next wave. Figuring out the next wave is not as easy as it looks.
That's the one thing about this league, man. There are windows, and that's what makes it so great. Is that when you have the locker room and the core to get it done, you have to get it done in that time period because if you're not successful, the regime changes. If you are successful, people get paid and move on. So there's only a window, of time that you actually have to get it done. And that's the magic of it all. That's why, we have different champions every year. We have, you know, different teams going from the bottom to the top. And that's what I like about the league. It's always competitive.
Man, that's just like those iconic moments. Is that feeling of like, man, 2009, the Super Bowl with the Philadelphia, the coming back to the Saints, these iconic moments, is that sort of what like led you into photography, or like how did that work?
No, I think again, it's like, how do I come back to the game on my own terms? And so I've been I've been avoiding coming back to games because I'm not a player. I'm not a coach. I have nothing going on with, the outcome of the game. As a fan of the game, like, great, but it becomes, I have to ask myself, like, well, why are you here? Like, and you kind of feel like you're getting paraded around. But I think once I got behind the camera, it started with me just taking photos of my daughter playing soccer. And then I'm like, okay, I went to an MLS game, took some things. I'm like, well, I might as well do some NFL games. But what it allowed me to do was to approach the game on my own terms, doing something that I love to do from a vantage point that I was used to. Not the stands, I can be down on the field. I'm looking at the formation to understand what plays come in and where I think the ball's going to go, where I need to put my camera. Like, that just helped me use these dormant, talents and knowledge that I've had outside, that I used in the game that I've had a hard time applying out in the world. This gave me the medium and platform to actually put that stuff to use just for fun, just for artistic expression, just for the sake of exploration. And I think that is an example, and I'm not the only one, but trying to leave real life examples for guys that leave the game to show that there are so many different avenues of which we can interact with our game besides being a player, a coach, or, commentating.
Absolutely. I was like, you found out you loved it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, it's So it is it complements my writing, really. And that's where I got into photography, is my collection of art. I love photography. As I started to write more, adding the things that I'm seeing just brightens the context for the reader. And so, yeah, it's all about storytelling for me.
I'll say, as an author, as a writer, does that, is the next one, like, so you obtain goals there, critically acclaimed in that space. Do you have the goal of shooting a Super Bowl? Like, what is the photography? Is there a photography, like, elevated status? Like, oh man, I got to shoot this event. World Cup coming up, Olympics coming up.
Yeah, I think that's the thing about being an athlete that we have to shake sometimes, is feeling like we have to be the best at everything in order for it to be valuable.
Right.
And for me, it's like, no, the exercise of being a rookie and things like that just give me new life, that you learn so much more about yourself. You learn about a new craft. And I think it's more of an exercise of a self-scout than anything else. Right? How do you get outside? What do you do when you are uncomfortable, when you're in a situation you're unsure? How do I go back to the things that I did when I was a rookie in the locker room of the Saints? What were the things how did I approach the game? Who did I look up to? And getting used to working those muscles are important in every genre of life. Whether you're trying to figure out how to you're a new dad and trying to figure out how to make this work. It's like, bro, you find some people to look at, try some things out, read a couple books, get in the field and do it. And again, I think doing those things out loud, understanding that I represent, or that a lot of people look to my example to follow, I try to do it in a way that is out loud and unconventional, because I know, some avenues aren't open to everybody else, and I'm completely committed to living a life outside of the box.
Yeah. I don't know about outside the box. I just want to be competitive all my life. My life is built on competitive nature. I don't know if I can have a self-reflection like how are we? I don't know if I got that. I need to be the best. Like that's an innate need. I think that's innately who I am. It's probably why I started up my foundation, the Cam Jordan Foundation, because I was like, yo, I had everything at hand to be the best. I went to the University of California, Berkeley. I had a great dad who was able to provide. Whoop, whoop, whoop. I was like, I'm looking at it. I'm like, this next generation, there's kids that want to be the best, but they don't have the means to get to college. So I focused on education. We've been able to send kids off to college in Louisiana public schools and pay for the whole tuition. Your foundation, the Malcolm Jenkins Foundation, you started with your first year?
Second year, yeah. 2010, my second year in the league, yeah.
Yeah, you talk. With everything that I know of you, you've always talked about paying it forward for just the next wave as well. Just give me an anecdote of what the foundation program how has it grown since 2010?
Man, we started in 2010, which means that this year we are celebrating 15 years of work, which is longer than I played in the league. Which is, when I think about that, is really mind blowing. Me and my mom, she's the president of the foundation. We started in New Orleans and expanded it to everywhere we call home. So that was Ohio, Columbus, Ohio, Philadelphia, where I was at playing, and then Piscataway, New Jersey, and the state of New Jersey, where I'm from. And being able to expand our programs that exist in all of these markets, regardless if I'm there or not, servicing thousands of community members. We just had an event in Philly a couple of weeks ago where we fed about 800 families. And, just to be able to have the support from the community to expand our reach across the country, to provide things like food, education services, financial literacy, storytelling things, exposing kids to art. We do it all. Like literally all of the things that I'm doing in my life journey, it's not just an example like, hey, watch me. We're taking all of that access and pushing it down to this next generation to let them know that they can get these same skills. They can walk these same paths. You don't have to be an NFL player to do the side quests. Side quests are open for everybody. If you kind of take the time, breathe, analyze yourself about what you like, what you don't, try some things, and put yourself out there.
Man, absolutely. Just adding to the legacy for sure. I guess I'll say all these side missions, you think about just what you've done with the VC as well. Like, that's what I'm saying. You make me mad. Like all these, I feel like I got to step my shit up. Like I'm like, I could do more. I could do more.
It's definitely out there for you if you want to. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think that's really the biggest thing. Sometimes we feel like things aren't available to us. It's like if you don't want to do it, that's all good. But if you do want to get out there, I'm looking at how everybody else makes money, because we're all like, okay, we want to grow generational wealth. And I realized real quickly after
you have generational wealth.
No, I don't. You can, bro. We hear every day about athletes going broke. So to say that we have generational wealth is like we have the potential for generational wealth. We have a great foundation if we then make our money work just as hard as us. Mm-hmm. But if we don't, this money is going to run out in 5 to 10 years. And so what I had to do was like, okay, well, who is making all of the money in the country? Who are the richest folks? And when you look at it, they all they're not making it in the stock market. They make their money in venture capital, private equity, real estate, and franchising. So I made sure I got in all of those. and then when I built it, I didn't just want to do it for me. I'm like, I know my peers need access to this stuff. These are the things that we don't talk about a lot in locker rooms. We don't hear about a lot. So if I'm going to set it up for myself, I'm going to create a vehicle where my teammates, my peers from across the league, across the industries can also invest with me. That's what Broad Street Ventures is, Athletes Franchise Partners. And we've been able to really build this as a community and a network, which is the exact model that everybody else uses in this country when you talk about the top earners. But those aren't the things that we talk about enough is building a team, outside of the game.
Absolutely. Like, especially while I'm playing, whatever it is, I tell the guys, I'm like, hey, bro, like, you got a lot of teammates and a lot of different things. I was like, if you feel like you need to learn something, right now is the best idea.
Yes, best time to ask.
When Jimmy Graham was in the locker room last year, I said, bro, I said, you should talk to him. My man, does amazing things off the field. Tap in if you got some business questions, Taysom Hill before, the 7 years before he got to the NFL, on a BYU route,
Yeah.
he was working it to be in a financial district. Like, bro, I was like, you have it at the palm of your hands right now, as well as being able to leverage who you are to get into the rooms that you want to be in after you are who you're not.
Yep.
Once his helmet gets peeled back and nobody really cares about the shield that you're not rocking anymore. When you can go from Cam Jordan, the Saints player, to just Cam Jordan, you should leverage Cam Jordan, the football player, as hard as you can, as much as you can.
Yeah, but also set up who Cam Jordan's going to be afterwards, because Cam Jordan's only going to be a football player for 15, 16, maybe 17 years.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Is Cam Jordan going to be Cam Jordan for a long time? And eventually, and I think that's what guys struggle with, is when you put all your chips into being just a football player, when you are no longer a football player, you can't go back on that field, even if you wanted to. You have to then answer the question to yourself, who am I? And if you haven't answered that already, it will be stressful. And this is from experience. And I had all the things going on, and I still had that same question, like, okay, without this game, I've said more than an athlete as a cliche, but now I got to put foot to pavement. Who am I without the game? And I think what you see me doing is actively working that out.
Absolutely. Oh, shoot. Like, I ain't going to take you too much more of your time. I appreciate you for tapping in with me.
Of course, brother.
But shout out, appreciate you for everything you are. Being inducted into, I almost forgot, being inducted to the Eagles Hall of Fame, November 28th, where you guys play Caleb Williams and the Bears, and Rome and Dunze. Like I said, you've been nothing but inspiration since I've met you. I still have a favorite play back when it was like 2011 or 12. We played Tampa Bay, and you walked down freaking the Vincent Jackson Jr.
Vincent Jackson.
Junior, whatever it is. Walked him down. We had that awesome goal line stop. And hopefully they cut tape, because it's amazing. You came 40 yards from deep, and then we ended up,
Didn't you make the fourth down stop on that?
I didn't want to say there's a sequence of why it's one of my favorite plays for you, because it leads into team.
It's all right. We both balled out on that series. It's good.
Absolutely.
It's all good.
Yeah, exactly. But appreciate you stopping on the pod. Shout out to the Malcolm Jenkins Foundation, DeMar Seville's, Kinsley, the VC Fund, the Broad Street, the Substack. It's everything that is Malcolm Jenkins, dog. I appreciate you. Thank you to listeners, the viewers, everybody else who taps in. Check us out on podcasts, on the podcast, on iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, all the podcast platforms, and of course the NFL's YouTube page. We're here. We're strong. I'm happy that my guy is continually succeeding off the field as he did on the field. God bless. Peace.